If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Welcome to Modern Mom Probs, where we're trying to solve the world's modern mom problems. And if we can't do that, at least we're having fun talking about them. I'm Tara Clark. Let's go. Hey, Modern Mom crew. It's another episode of Modern Mom Probs. I'm your girl, Tara. Today, I am joined by one of the funniest women on the internet right now. Taylor Wolfe is a comedian, a writer, a mom of two, whose razor sharp observational comedy just hits time and time again. She has a new book out called Just a Busy Season, and that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the busy seasons of motherhood. We talk about everything from serious stuff to funny stuff and everything in between. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to chat with you. Not only are you wearing the cutest shirt I think I've seen in a long time, because not only is it like my favorite color, it's also my favorite animal. You crack me up on the regular. So for folks who aren't familiar with your work, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, that's always the hardest question where I'm like caught off guard, like, who, me? Who am I today? Today, I have spent the morning crying about my dog, which is on par for me for most days. But when I'm not crying and writing poetry, I am on the other end, usually making videos on the internet in wigs. I dabble in some other, writing, not just poetry. That my new book is essays on motherhood, a little bit of everything, but also changes daily because I'm pretty chaotic. Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. You have two girls.
Oh yeah, I have kids too.
Yeah,
forget about them.
You're like, oh, them. Actually, I mean, my son's 13 now, and so I often forget about that. That'll come with time, though. That'll come with time. So you have a new book out, as you mentioned, Just a Busy Season, which I think is absolutely adorable. Are those actually your girls or are they models?
They are models. No, I'm kidding. Those are my children. You'll notice that their hair is not brushed, but mine's really not brushed either. And I knew we were doing this photo shoot, but still, it just didn't dawn on me like, oh, maybe you should brush their hair. Because I knew I didn't want their faces in it.
Of course.
So I knew their hair. But anyway, brushing hair is so hard.
Yeah. I still remember even from when I was little that my mom would be tearing through my hair. Yeah. And it's not fun. It's not fun. It is. I mean, and I have a lot of hair now and it's still a struggle for me. So it was a struggle when I was 4 and it's a struggle when I'm 40. So that's just sort of the thing.
Doesn't get better.
No, it doesn't. Your book had me absolutely cracking up because it's a bunch, and I'm using that as a very formal word, a bunch of essays on motherhood. And it ranges from things like your breastfeeding journey, which is super relatable, to you had an essay about kidnapping, but in lighthearted. I know it sounds strange, but I feel like you find a way to make it lighthearted, kidnapping. And just so many different things. But you start the book off. Can I share a story from it that took me back? And it was one of those things where I was reading, I was like, oh my God, she's serious. So you're telling a story about how Birdie has to go to the bathroom and she refuses to use a public toilet. Yes. And you're going from this public toilet to this one. And you're like, come on, let's go. And she's like, no, I don't have to go. All better, mommy, all better. I don't have to go anymore. Ultimately, you end up at yet another public restroom. She's crying, refusing to use the bathroom. So you wad up a bunch of toilet paper and you say, go pee-pee in mommy's hands. And she does.
Yes. Isn't that normal? Haven't we all done that? No?
No.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I have a boy, so maybe it's a little bit different.
Yeah, maybe. It seemed like such a good idea at the time. And I could tell she was in pain. She'd been holding it. But it was also, I felt like I needed to clarify, she'd been going in public restrooms. This wasn't we just tried this. It was just, she decided, oh, I'm not going to like any public restrooms today.
Because, that's what toddlers do. Like yesterday, maybe she loved them and she's doing tap dances in them. And then like the next day, she doesn't want to go inside them at all.
So I did wad up some toilet paper, not enough, because, it is surprising how much urine can come out. When you're catching it in your hands. That was like my first time. And I was like, well, next time I'll know better. Luckily, there's not been a next time.
You're talking about a next time. Was there a next time?
No, there has not been, which was a shame because I'd be more prepared. But I feel like that's one of the misconceptions for me about potty training. It's not just like, oh, they're potty trained. It's like, oh, it's like a 2-year thing. Like, not for everybody. I'm sure some kids get it faster. Good for them. But like my own children, it's been like a long you have to keep doing it. So
it's a lot of reinforcement goes with that kind of stuff.
And then you'll think you have it, and then they just confuse the shit out of you and piss in your hands. So
that sums up parenthood really. All right, interview's over. Great conversation. No, that's what it is. Just when you think you have something down, it changes, and then you're like, oh, I don't know what any of this is anymore. And I guess that sort of really sums up like that whole concept of just a busy season, right? Like parenthood, particularly motherhood, is a bunch of seasons, back to back to back seasons. And so just when you feel like you're on the high of like, I am nailing this, I know what I'm doing, I know how to do it, I could parent the shit out of these 2 kids. And then all of a sudden there's a new phase.
Yeah. And then the harder part for me is like, oh, I have to keep changing too. Damn it. Like they're making you constantly change too, which I used to be one who did not like change, but that version of me is gone.
Yeah, that's one of those things.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that's one of those things that you just have to like throw out the window because they're learning how to be people for the first time. You're learning how to be a mother in this season of your life, in this phase for the first time. And it's just like a constant evolution over and over and over again.
It's so tiring.
It is. Are you tired?
All the time.
I was thinking about your book because, again, it's called like Just a Busy Season. And the current season that I'm in, like my son's a teenager. He needs me so much less than he did when he was 5.5 or 3, right? And and there's something beautiful about that, but also very bittersweet about that. It's not that all consuming, mommy, I need you to wipe myself. Mommy, I need you to hold tissues so I could pee in your hands. Like it's not all of that all consuming that it was. And that is kind of what motherhood is, like just getting used to something. And then you're like, okay, now this is the new thing,
Yeah. I mean, thinking about when they don't need me as much, I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing. And also heartbreaking.
It is.
So you're just constantly in a state of juxtaposition, or however you say that word. It's a very hard word for someone with a lisp. Will you say it? I feel like
juxtaposition.
There you go.
Juxtaposition.
It is a weird
if I say
one.
It slowly, I have to like enunciate it. And if I enunciate it, then I'll do it okay.
Yeah, it almost kind of sounded like my book, Just a Busy Season. Just a quick. Yeah, I can't even go there now. So you're stuck in the middle of like just going back and forth. It's confusing.
Yeah, no, it really is. I wanted to ask you, because like, in addition, the book is funny and it's sort of unhinged, and it is unhinged and silly and funny and all of those things. But so is your Instagram account. Like, where do you get a lot of the inspiration for the videos you're creating?
My gut reaction was Adderall, but then I was like, don't say that. But I did anyway. A lot of my inspo comes in the morning. A lot of it comes from things where I'm either like calling myself out, like making fun of myself, so I channel it into a video, or it's something that causes like a heightened emotion in me. Where the videos where like I'm being crazy about just a random example, before the cleaners come, and I turn into like, clean up the house, the cleaners are coming. And like Chris, my husband, he'll be like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, the same thing you do. Every other week they come, it's like, so, just this heightened stuff where even I can be slightly self-aware and be like, whoa, you're being crazy. And then I'm like, oh, that could be a fun video. So whenever I get the like, whoa, that's where I try to turn that into a video. And then it's also healing for me, like in ways where I get some really mean messages, believe it or not. I've created characters out of like the meanest messages I've gotten. And that takes away their power for me. Yeah, that was especially important when I was like breastfeeding and dumb enough to share about breastfeeding on the internet. Because it didn't work for me. And like one of the messages I got was like, of course it wouldn't work for you. Only selfless mothers can breastfeed. And it gutted me because I was like a new mom and it was kind of like confirming what I maybe secretly thought, which I think was like deeply embedded other things, you know, because I don't think that, but still, I don't know. I didn't know why it upset me so much, but it did. Yeah. So then I turned it into a character called Mom Troll. And that was the first time where I was like, whoa, I just like funneled all of that emotion and energy that was bringing me down into just something to make it lighter. You know, so it's essentially like what I do with stand up, where I take something that's dark and hard and then I kind of flip it inside out and it's like indulge it for myself because it makes me feel better. And then the benefit is when like others, you know, it makes them feel better too.
Yeah.
I'm so selfless.
You're so selfless. No, that makes sense. I mean, I just for context, like I've been doing Instagram comedy since 2016, right? And a comedy in as much as like mom humor, right? Since 2016. Mm-hmm. Some people were like, why did you choose to go that route versus other things? One, Instagram in 2016 was a wildly different place from where it is right now. But two, it's sort of that gallows humor of like when you're really in the trenches and when you're really in that survival mode of day to day, you're like, I just got to get through today. I just got to get through tomorrow. Like, you need a laugh. You can't just be stuck in that, right? And I think it's so important as moms that we can find the humor or the self-deprecating things to say, to make fun, to be able to put a smile on someone else's face. And then also to make them nod along and go, oh God, yeah, thank God, me too. That's so relatable.
Yeah, exactly. 16 was the year Stories came out. Do you remember that on Instagram? It was just photos before that.
Taylor, when I got started on Instagram, we had no stories. We had no links for swipe ups. It was still the chronological feed. There were no videos. There was no Instagram lives. It was literally people were like taking pictures of their salads and lattes. And that's what we were doing. But I had said to my friends and family at that time, I'm going to start an Instagram page and I'm going to monetize it because I didn't have a blog. Like there were many mommy bloggers who had a blog that like then went to Instagram, but I didn't have any other supporting material, so to speak. And I just started it, you know, like that. And we literally, by the end of the year, when I first got started, we didn't have stories. By the end of the year, then it had stories. It was a wildly different surface. They call them surfaces at Meta, which is weird. Like each thing on Meta, like on Instagram is a different thing. Like the feed is a different surface from the stories, which is a different surface from Reels. I don't know. But anyway, that's how they refer to them. But it was a wildly different place. Like it was the wiki wild, wild west back then.
Oh, I'm familiar. I'm one of those people who had a blog.
See?
Yeah, that started in, I think, like 2010.
Yeah.
And then when Instagram came out, like literally Instagram came out, my husband's like, you should get on this, like, because you have a blog. And I was like,
yeah,
why would I want to just share photos? I was like, I'm not doing that. And it was Chris who's like, just get on it. And I did. And I hated it because I tried to like, this is when I was trying to be like, well, maybe I could monetize my blog. I didn't know that was a thing if you weren't Perez Hilton.
God,
so
remember
I'm like
that?
Posing by brick walls, you know, and I'm like looking at my feet and I was like, wow, I hate this. Like, I feel like such an asshole. And I was about to quit because I was like, this is just not me.
Yeah.
And then we came back from our honeymoon and Stories came out and I was like, is this? And I've always said like Stories saved me because I'm like, now I can do videos.
Interesting. I guess I never really thought about that, but that totally makes sense. Yeah. What was your blog about? Because this was before you had children. So was it more like comedy?
Yeah. So it was more like a place where I could talk shit about my jobs and my bosses. Very unhinged. Like if you think my book is unhinged, like I've done the work to cover up these blog posts because me in my 20s was very different from me now. Like I had this job where I would go into high schools dressed like an Iron Chef. I dressed like a chef. I pulled a cooler and I did like knife tricks because I was recruiting for a culinary school, but I did not like my boss. So I remember I had a post called like the devil wears TJ Maxx or like the devil wears purple blazers from TJ Maxx. Something very petty.
Deceased.
Yeah. And then I kept getting fired from jobs, probably because of the blog.
Yeah.
And so then it was like after I continued to get fired, that's where some people started to be like, you can like make blogging a job. And I was like, no,
yeah,
I can't. And I didn't know how, but then like other bloggers would pay me like $20 to like share their button is what we called it. And I'd be like, oh, this is cool. So it just like, it started off like just very sarcastic, weird posts about anything and everything. Because I was an English major. So I just had like a professor that's like, just write every day, keep yourself consistent. And to me in 2009, I was like, that means start a blog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is like what people were doing back then, without a doubt.
It was never like intentional to make money. We didn't graduate college in 2009 thinking you could be a content creator, or it wasn't a thing. Not, just none of that existed.
No,
so
I know
it came about.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny. I often tell people, so I was a communication major and a business major, graduated college 2002. I felt like the technology finally caught up for what it was that I actually like wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like to be able to do what we do now, like didn't exist back then. And like you said, to your point, like now it does. And so like, we just kind of had to like wait for the technology to catch up to like what our interests were. But, speaking of like being a content creator, like professionally, I worked at Nickelodeon in 2009. And I was the voice of Dora the Explorer on Facebook in 2009. Yeah. Actually, maybe that was like, I'm lying. Maybe that was more like 2011, 2012. But
I have a lot of questions for you about Nickelodeon that I'll ask off air.
Oh, for real? Oh.
Well, kind of.
We could totally chat.
And this is how long it takes me to do math. And I'm like, wait, 2002, you said college?
Yes.
Looks and age don't matter, but you look very young.
I'm not, but thanks.
Yes. You still are young, but I was like, wait, 2002, that's 7 years before me. But I'm like, I thought you were like early 30s. What?
God, I love you, Taylor. Marry me.
What do you do?
I drink a lot of water.
You probably wash your face at night too, huh?
I do. Yeah. And I use moisturizer. I don't know. But thanks. I appreciate it. No, I'm 46.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't start my Instagram account until I was 36. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm old. I'm like...
Do you use like vitamin C? What's going on? I'm staring at you. You're shiny.
I'm literally going to steal you. I'm just going to steal you.
I'm also like I have to improve my skin in like 4 days before I go on tour.
Stop it.
Well, so I'm just like, what do I do?
Where is this tour? Like, tell me all the things.
I was very aggressive when I planned it, considering I'm a homebody who like lives in the woods. I'm starting in New York, doing a show with Big Time Adulting. Do you follow Caitlin Murray? Yes.
What a ridiculous question. Of course I do. And that's where I live. So I want to go and hang out. Yeah.
Come Monday.
It's this Monday?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, let me see what I could do. If you're anything like me, the outfit you live in is the one that you keep grabbing because it feels so good. And my absolute go-to is the Cozy Earth brushed bamboo jogger set. I'm wearing them right now because, like I said, they're the first thing I grab to wear when I get dressed in the morning. Listen, I'm at a stage in my life where if it's itchy, stiff, or requires adjusting every 5 minutes, that's a hard no for me. But this set, it's soft, breathable, flattering. It looks put together. I could wear it while I'm working from home, running errands, making dinner, or, pretending that I have my life together at school pickup. And the comfort is next level. The brushed bamboo fabric gets softer wash after wash, which actually feels kind of rude to every other piece of clothing that I own. This actually moves with you. It holds up beautifully, and it feels like the kind of luxury moms deserve but rarely ever buy for themselves. Plus, Cozy Earth stands behind it with a 100-night trial and a 10-year warranty. That's not, hope you like it energy. That's straight up confidence. So this spring, give yourself the kind of comfort that stays with you all day. Head to CozyEarth.com and use my code MODERN for 20% off. And if you see the post-purchase survey, let them know that you heard about it right here on Modern Mom Probs. Cozy Earth. comfort lives here.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
So I was like, I got really behind on planning because my dog died a month ago, and
I know,
like,
I'm so sorry.
it just derailed me, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave my house. I'm canceling it all. But now I've come full circle where it's like I'm ready to go out and put a light spin on this dark stuff, because that's when I feel like I've done my best stand-up, is when like I am very sad. Others might disagree. I don't know. We'll find out. But like I have so many things I need to share about like the dark things my kids said that have been festering inside me because my kids did not help me. People have been like, kids will get you through the dark times. No, they won't. They said some bad things. I need to get out on this tour and talk shit about my kids is what I'm saying. No, I'm not, but I just want to share their funny things.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So in your first book, you had lost Harlow, who was
Yes.
your old dog who
Uh-huh.
passed.
Yeah.
And now the new dog that you're talking about is
Uh-huh.
not Harlow. Is it Vinny?
Well, that's a question for a pet medium, because I got Vinny because a pet medium said it was Harlow reincarnated. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned
That
that in
old
the
story.
book.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't really think it was him. But like the signs leading up to it, I was like, this is him. We have to get Vinny. And like, I just found out I was pregnant for the second time. We just like adopted this senior dog. So everything was like, don't get this puppy, including my husband. But then I was like, but the pet medium. So we got Vinny, and Vinny's like the reason we live where we do now, which is a tiny town in the Pacific Northwest. We'd never even heard of it, but we're desperate to get out of our house in Denver because these dogs were driving us crazy. So Chris found this small town. He's like, what about this place? And I was like, sure, let's do it. Just because I was miserable. And we moved here without knowing anybody, like so far away from our families, but now we love it. And I like have these like soulful experiences where I'm like, I was meant to be here. Like, I just love it out here.
It's amazing. I was
I know.
wondering how you ended up moving to the Pacific Northwest. I didn't realize that it was the dogs, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Chris has a different thought, but I'm like, why do you think a woman 8 months pregnant would be like, yeah, let's move away from everything we know? Just because like I wanted a bigger yard for them, and I was miserable because I felt so much guilt for bringing this dog in, and this felt like my way out. So I made a crazy choice and being like, yep, let's do it. And then it's like worked out. But that's how I'm like, I like to try to make sense of things in a weird way. But I'm like, Vinny got us here. This is where we're meant to be. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I was sad reading the book when you mention Vinny because of what happened recently. And so that was hard to read. That was challenging.
Oh my God. I know. It's even like, so it's the chapter when I'm like, I can't stand this puppy. And I think about it now and I feel so much guilt, but I'm like, that was my truth then, and I'm like, oh, it just hurts. But it's like, that's what it was. And I don't know. He had a good life, and he was such a crazy fucker. And we just like, he was so joyful, and like, he had a really good life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you were going to have such wonderful memories of him together. You know, like you have such wonderful memories. I'm so sorry. That is really, there are no words.
But yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And I also do like to keep talking about him because talking helps. I don't know if you knew that. But it really does. And I used to, like with Harlow, I was just at such a different place and like had never been to therapy. So I held a lot of that grief in and would like cry alone. And now I just cry all the time. And when people say like, I'm sorry, I'm like, thank you. Can I tell you about this thing he did? Or I'm like, screw it. Like, why hold it back? We all go through it and it sucks. And like sharing it a little more all the time helps it. So we could turn this into a podcast about talking about my dead dog, and I'd be fine if you want.
We could just talk about grief.
Yeah.
We scrap the motherhood stuff and we could just focus on speaking about grief. But It's interesting. You had mentioned about feeling guilt about saying like, oh, I hate this new puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
as moms, feeling guilt is very relatable.
Breathe for a second. Yes. Yes, it is. That was another shocking hard truth for me about motherhood, because I just went in so stupid. Like, I'm not going to feel guilty. Like, I want to keep working, which I mean, I'm saying this, just let me finish, listeners, before you judge me. Like, I just thought guilt was something you could turn on or off. And maybe it is for some, but not for me. Like, I'm feeling it and knowing it's not justified and knowing it's a waste of energy, but that doesn't stop. You know, like we can try to do these things, but still, yeah, I feel guilt a lot and I hate it. And I'm getting better at it. You know, there are things you can do, but a lot of it, I don't know. What's your tips? What do you do?
I think a lot of it helps over time, and the longer that you've been a parent, at least like from my own personal experience, that seems to be the thing. I don't feel the same level of guilt now that my son is older than I did when he was younger.
Yeah.
And I know even you speak about that when I think it was Goldie that had a helmet, right? She had weird, and I'm using these quotes. This is not my word. This is Taylor's word. Weird shaped head.
Yeah. A lot of people said it. It's okay.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm quoting the book. And you talked about, you know, the guilt that you felt when people would ask about that. And I used to feel a lot of guilt for different things when my son was younger. And the older you get, or at least for me, like I said, the older I got, the more confident I became in my parenting and the more confident I became in myself, and so that I wouldn't necessarily feel that type of guilt. Or if I did, I sort of kind of just like shoot it away. Like when it's sunny, it's like, you're like, oh, now we have to go play outside. And you feel that guilt of like being inside on a sunny day, right? Or if it's like, you know, sometimes it's like the opposite. You're like, oh, it's rainy and now we're stuck inside and I feel guilty for watching too much TV. You know, like either way you cut it, you can't win one way or the other, right? But the only thing you can do is be okay with those things. Sometimes it's sunny and you should play outside. And you're like, you know what? I'm not feeling it today. And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Like that. I'm like, whoa, yeah. Confidence. Duh. Like, that's what it is. That's what I'm lacking. No, but seriously, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Cause it's gotten better from Birdie to Goldie, but I'm still not there, obviously. But okay.
I think it comes with time. At least it did for me. There was a time. I'll tell you a great story. This is I don't know if it's like it totally makes sense here, but I'll share it anyway. When my son was 3 months old, my husband had a conference in Disney World. And we were down in Disney World, but my husband was working at the conference and my son and I were at Disney Springs, and he started screaming. And he was only 3 months old. And at that point, I was nursing him. I don't remember if I had introduced formula at that point. It was probably maybe that trip or like another subsequent trip. Anyway, long story short, I felt too shy to nurse my son at Disney Springs. I thought, God, what people are going to look at me? What am I doing? Like, this isn't like, I just like didn't feel comfortable, not confident in my own body, not confident in my skills, whatever, just didn't want to do it in public. So he is screaming at the top of his lungs. And I know he is hungry. I am running down the street with him in a stroller to get to our hotel so I could get back into our hotel room so that I can nurse my son from the comfort of our hotel bed. And I look back and I think of that story because the whole thing was anchored in a lack of confidence. To sit on a freaking bench and just nurse my son. Like, how silly. And I was sweating buckets because I was nervous. And, you know, like when you hear that cry, you just instantly start to sweat. So I'm sweating from his cry. I'm sweating from literally running in Orlando heat to get to the hotel.
Kids are dripping.
They're literally dripping. He's crying. All of that stuff.
Oh my
right?
God, I feel the
same. That came from a lack of confidence. And like now I look back and I'm like, Tara, how ridiculous are you that you let that happen? And that's just something for me that came with time. And that's something that's really tricky for new moms is that you don't know that you're lacking that confidence at the time until you're sort of just in it. And then you sort of have the luxury of time to look back and see like, oh, you silly girl, what's wrong with you?
Oh my God. But like also like have sympathy for young Tara. Like
I do have sympathy for young Tara because I would just want to hug her and say like, it's going to be okay. And it was okay. I mean, especially once we got back to the hotel and like, I was just like, here, take them, take everything I have. Yes, I would definitely want to just wrap her up.
I hear that and I think about the pain of your boobs, like hurting, stinging. Like mine would send fiery, like I just call it like shocks through me in those situations. And I also like, I do think that's a lot of society shit where why you didn't feel comfortable, because we shouldn't be in a society where it's even questioned, yet that I never was comfortable doing it in public. Even in our car where we pulled over at like a gas station, but there were people next to us watching. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know.
It's like performance anxiety.
Weird. Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird.
My hope is that I would never hope that another mother couldn't feed their child because they felt too embarrassed. And again, maybe it's different nowadays than it was 13 years ago when I had to feed him. I don't know. But also similarly, we went to Miami another time, probably around that same time. He was like maybe 4 months old. It was probably like only a few weeks after that other trip. Same thing. My husband had a conference. I was shy to nurse my baby, not my husband, nurse my baby on the plane. And then my boobs were like rocks. They were like absolute rocks. And then I couldn't wait to get to the hotel to nurse him to get that out. And then also on that trip, we introduced formula, thank God, which was God sent and such a savior. But I was doing everything. I was nursing and I was pumping and I was giving him formula. He had everything under the sun. But yeah, poor young Tara just like was too shy and too embarrassed. And I would never hope for that for anyone else.
Yeah, I know. People have too many damn opinions on breastfeeding too.
They do. You have bizarre. A beautiful poem about that in the book.
Thank you. I thought you were going to talk about my beautiful line, grow up, you fucking weirdos. I took the F word out. Like I would take it out and I'd put it back in because like, you know, my mom's like, why stop using the F word so much? But I tried to really decrease it, but I'm like, this line needs it because grow up, you fucking weirdos who have opinions on other people's boobs and how they feed their kids.
Yes.
Sorry, Mom, and other people who don't like that word, but sometimes it's necessary. But
sometimes it is necessary. There's a lot of opinions from a lot of people on the internet, and that makes sense about your mom troll character. You introduced your mom as a character, and she's very popular.
You mean
the main star?
The protagonist of my videos.
What inspired you to do that? How did you get involved? Like with me, like, you know what, Mom, come on in here. Let's do it.
So it actually started in Denver. Like, she would come out and help me with Birdie. We have never lived by family with kids, which I've heard is nice. And I've never got to know that luxury. Luckily, my mom is...
We do live near them and nobody helped us. So it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind then. Luckily, my mom's great about flying out frequently. So she would come out and help with Birdie. And one time I had to record videos for a brand campaign. And she would pop in my room while I was recording and be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm recording right now. For what? Who's going to see it? Where's it going to go? Where's your nail polish remover? And because she could not grasp the working from home. She just couldn't quite get it. You know, this was like 6-7 years ago. So finally I was like, okay, Mom, I need you to just make this video with me. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just do exactly what you're doing. So the first video was like trying to work from home with my mom around. And that was it. And she nailed it. And like, she's very funny. Like we have like good rapport back and forth.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. I can also be a bossy director though, because now as I've gotten some lines, I need her to nail like the knock it off thing. She'll like flub some things and I'm like, Mom, again, I need you to just hit these points. And luckily she like in these situations takes my feedback well. But anyway, once I like brought her in videos, people like received her so well and loved it, which like I joke about me being the like evil one, but I'm happy it is because I wouldn't be able to. The only one who can talk shit about my mom is me, you know, like, so I was worried about that for a while. Like, I don't want the internet can be mean, but then I saw they're just mean to me and not her. So it's fine. Like,
oh, thank God.
Her like comment that she gets the most, that is like her most negative thing, is people will be like, no way is that a boomer. And she responds to all, I was born in 1959, which means I'm actually a boomer. Thanks. Have a good day, Sandy. Like she signs all the comments.
Oh God, that is Sandy. So cute.
I know. Yeah. She's
boomer comment back and I love it so very much.
Yeah. And to do her sign.
Yeah,
Sandy.
Dash Sandy.
And she started to get recognized a little bit, which
Cute.
she loves.
Is she still in Nebraska?
She is, and she'll be the first to say people don't recognize her in our hometown. They just treat her normal still. It's more when she travels, but yeah, nobody in Norfolk has changed, which is great.
She's so cute. That is such a pip. Yeah. I can't even begin to say. I love that so much.
Yes. So she'll be on the tour. The only time she can't come is when she has to rendezvous to Las Vegas, because it's a State Farm convention and it's my dad's last and she can't miss it. But she will leave Vegas early to come back.
I love that
so on brand for her.
Yeah. It really is.
I
love that. She is such a great character. My mom could not wrap her head around the concept of working from home for a very long time.
Yeah.
I have been doing this for 10 years now. Only until last year did she understand what that concept meant.
Mm-hmm.
I hosted a wellness retreat, which was in person in New Jersey, and she attended and she got to see what that was like and what we do. And I interviewed people, whatever. She said, I finally understand what you do. And I was like, oh, thanks, Mom, which was very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super sweet. Oh, now she's like, I get the working from home thing. I should also preface it that my mom is not on the internet. My mom has never been on the internet. My mom is actually circa 1994 with a flip phone. Okay. And so she has no concept of what I would put out online or anything like that.
How does she search things? Like encyclopedias or what?
She doesn't. She doesn't.
Well, that's great. What do you need to know?
No, she doesn't. No. What would you do in 1993? You go, I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, we'd get out the encyclopedias and look things up. Or
she actually does still have. No, it's true. All of that stuff is still at her house. My World Book encyclopedia collection is still in the library. I don't know, still on the bookshelf. No, she'll ask me. She actually will ask me, hey, Tara, can you look up X, Y, and Z? And anything that has to do with email or anything goes through me. But it's actually super refreshing. But it also is hard when she's like, I don't know what you do for a living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that aspect.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So Taylor, I'm going to ask you a question that I ask all of my guests, and I'm super curious to see what you're going to say. Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest modern mom problem today?
I was going to say hemorrhoids, but that's not modern. So I do think the overload of information, except for when it comes to curing hemorrhoids, but just so much information overload. That's what I struggle with the most for everything. I feel like it goes across every part of it. If you have anxiety, especially, there's too much. You can find confirmation for everything you're scared of. That one's had to have been said before, right?
Yeah, no, that's a super popular one. If I were to say probably what the top 3 would be, it would be
hemorrhoids, by the way. That one's been said before.
No, that's a new one.
Yeah, it's old fashioned.
That's an original modern mom problem, not a modern mom problem. No, but as far as what I was going to say, the top 3, it would be social media comparison, information overload, and technology in general.
Yeah.
So they're all interrelated. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It is something that definitely is different from raising kids in 1959 versus raising kids in 2016.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Taylor Wolfe, you are a riot. I adore you so much. Tell everyone where we could buy your book, where we could find you on tour. Tell us all the things.
You can buy my book wherever books are sold. At least that's what I'm told. What that means is you can find it online at Target or Amazon, or if you search Just a Busy Season, Taylor Wolfe, then it will take you to the HarperCollins page, and you can search an indie near you if you like to support an indie bookstore, which is always great. I recommend listening to it. If you were like, wow, I really want to hear this woman's voice for 8 hours, I recorded the audiobook, which was very fun for me. If you're on Spotify Premium, it's free on there. So that's a plus.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. People have been like, do you get paid for that still? I have no idea. But I'm going to recommend it because who knows? Probably
not.
Probably. I'm going to be in New York next Monday, and You might be there too.
I may be there as well. I hope so.
Yeah, I wish I was better at scheduling and doing things because I could have set this up. Boston,
Yeah.
Wednesday, Denver, Chicago.
You're doing
Des
everything.
Moines,
You're all over
book
the
show.
place.
Yes, yes.
Everywhere. All of the places.
Yeah.
I love it. Everybody, follow Taylor, the Daily Tay. You crack me up on the daily. And so thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Modern Mom Probs. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive in today's problem with me, your host, Tara Clark. Join me next time when I'll be interviewing another great guest and tackling another modern mom problem. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and a rating. As always, you could head over to Modern Mom Probs on Instagram and give me a follow, or check out my book, Modern Mom Probs, A Survival Guide for 21st Century Mothers, available online wherever books are sold. Well, that's it for today. See you next time, folks.